I'd like to call the meeting to order this evening. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Frankfort Township Board of Education has caused advance notice of this meeting and general agenda to be submitted for publishing in the official newspapers as well as district and municipal offices on June 16, 2022. Can we all rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just wanted to say we have a lot of people in the room tonight. We want to give everybody the chance to speak. There's a lot of us, so if we could keep side conversations to a minimum so that everybody could hear, give everybody the respect they deserve, board members and public, all of you. All I ask is you to treat each of all of us with civility. Chris, can you do the roll call?
Kathleen Adam. Leif Anderson.
Here.
Jamie Armando.
Here.
Raymond Castellani.
Here.
Caitlin Fredo.
Here.
Mandy Joust. Jennifer Nouse.
Here.
Mickey Perez.
Here.
John Tiger.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I'm going to make a motion that we go into executive session. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The length of time will be approximately 20 minutes. We'll try to make it quick and we'll be back out. We're going to leave you guys in also. Excuse me. Before we get started, I did want to make an announcement that anyone who would like to speak in the public sessions, public comment sessions, needs to sign up in the front. I know we might have some new people here who are not aware of that. So I just want to make you aware, and please come up, sign up, and we'll proceed with the meeting according to our agenda.
All right, we have recognition. Apologize, I'm losing my voice, as you can tell. And recognitions and presentations. Amy, do you want to speak?
Yeah, students of the fourth marking period in grade 5, Brody Manning. Grade 6, Addison Yanoff. Grade 7, Logan Tompkins. And grade 8, Henry Pearson. They do not know they will all be awarded this week, so please don't spoil the surprise. You're so proud.
Do we have student council present? Yeah? All right, well, we jump in then. Julie, this is the biggest crowd we've ever had for board meeting.
Go, June. You'll do great.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is June Pecorello, and I am an 8th grade student council president. The student council was very busy this year, but these are our most recent activities. On April 28th, we had a spring dance. Our theme was Hawaiian and spring. It was a lot of fun. Many students dressed Hawaiian and some girls dressed in spring dresses. We had our great DJ again and even had a contest for the students who dressed most Hawaiian in spring. The student council conducted a spring food drive which benefited the Grateful Shed. Members from the Grateful Shed came to school and picked the food up on April 28th. Then, the student council sponsored a spring pep rally on May 11th, which we held at the lower field. The honored sports teams for Frankfort School Track and Field, Frankfort Branch School 7th and 8th grade baseball, lacrosse, softball, and spring soccer were also honored. Also on May 11th, we held our final activity, which was our Spring Parents Night Out. We had about 40 students in grades kindergarten through 3rd. The students were allowed to play outside playing ball or using sidewalk chalk. Inside we had board games, card games, Legos, puzzles, coloring, eating, karaoke, and kickball. It was a very fun and successful night. Thank you for inviting us to present this report and have a nice summer.
We'll be starting the first session of public comment. In the first session, we're going to restrict your comments to those regarding things that are on our agenda. In the second session, you'd be able to speak on anything that has to do with the district. Do I have the list? Kat Carreri.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Carreri, middle school science teacher here at Frankfurt School. I'm speaking on behalf of myself as a staff member. First, I would like to take a moment to personally thank the Board of Education, especially Mrs. Perez, Mrs. Adam, and our new member, Mrs. Fredo, as well as previous Board of Education members for their support and respect for me as an educator over the past 15 years. Also, thank you, Mr. Hirsch and Mrs. Labrizzi, for putting your heart and soul into this school community and for making Frankfurt feel like a home and a second family for students and staff. Because of you, it's been a privilege to work at Frankfurt under your leadership. Thank you. Yeah. It's my understanding that 3 members of our Board of Education, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Castellani, and Mrs. Joust, privately coordinated a meeting with the shared superintendent of Sussex Wantage and Lafayette school districts without first following the Board of Education bylaws, informing a committee, or informing all of the other board members. It's my sincere hope that I am not understanding this accurately, because if this is what actually happened, it is in violation of the New Jersey Education Law 18A Code of Ethics, New Jersey Education Law 18A Sharing of a Superintendent Procedure, our Frankfurt Township Board of Education bylaws, and possibly the Open Public Meetings Act. Specifically, in 18A, the Code of Ethics plainly states in letter A, board members will uphold state board rules and regulations. Letter C reads, I will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. And letter G reads, I will recognize that authority rests with the Board of Education and will make no personal promises nor take any private action which may compromise the board. The Open Public Meetings Act gives the public the right to be present at meetings of public bodies and to witness in full detail the deliberation, policy formulation, and decision-making of public bodies. Even committees of just 2 members can be subject to this law because they are subsets of the entire board and in some cases will act on behalf of the board. Transparency, especially now, is paramount in maintaining trust from the staff and the school community. It's also worth noting that 2 of the 3 board members involved in this alleged private meeting do not have children attending Frankfurt Township School. Therefore, this arrangement of a shared superintendent would have 0 educational impact on their families. Also, Mr. Anderson should not be involved in any such meeting, discussion, or future committee that involves the hiring of a school superintendent, as he has a relative employed by the Frankfurt Township School District, and this is clearly outlined in the New Jersey School Boards Association ethics training. It's also my understanding that not all new board members have participated in their Board of Education ethics training. Stands to reason that this correlates with recent conduct during meetings, particularly involving discussions, voting procedures, and perhaps the coordination of the aforementioned alleged private meeting. It's my sincere hope that all members have had their mandated ethics training and possess a clear understanding of their role as a board member, as well as what they are permitted and not permitted to do as a member of this board. The notion of sharing a superintendent with 2 other school districts forfeits local power and decision-making that directly impacts the students and staff of this school community, which is why Education Statute 18A very clearly outlines the procedure for seeking to share a superintendent with another school
Time.
district. Somebody give their time.
I yield my time again.
Thank you, Mr. Storch. This law states that this decision to seek a shared superintendent arrangement should be made only after consulting both superintendents of the respective districts, after providing opportunity for community input, and after preparing a report that details the advantages to the school districts, as well as the feasibility of the shared arrangement, and consequently how this decision would impact services and, most importantly, the students of the school districts. It's my understanding that none of this happened prior to the private meeting between the previously mentioned board members and Superintendent Gall. Again, I hope I am mistaken. I see on the agenda, Mr. Castellani is planning to motion the formation of a committee to pursue a superintendent. This is what should have been done, according to law, prior to any discussion between board members, in person or electronically, and any action being taken. And this decision to seek an arrangement of a shared superintendent should not be made until all steps of the procedure outlined in 18A are followed. If my understanding is accurate, it's my opinion, the effort to make a motion at this point is too little too late, and rather it looks like an attempt to cover up a serious misstep. Since January, the ideas and comments regarding staff, curriculum, and policy, some which quite frankly convey political bias, that have been presented by some members of this Board of Education have catapulted staff morale to an all-time low and resulted in unprecedented uncertainty for our district, with a number of unanticipated resignations and retirements. This will no doubt have a negative impact on our students and our school community. The future success of this school rests in your actions. And your recent lack of respect and understanding of your code of ethics, your Board of Education bylaws, and New Jersey education law has put Frankfurt on a trajectory of mismanagement, neglect, and failure. Every member of this school community should be up in arms, and I pray that they hold you accountable for your recent actions. I also pray that the staff and students have the fortitude to raise up and nurture the growing diversity of Frankfurt Township School. Thank you.
Chris Sarn.
Hello, my name is Chris Sarno. I'm a retired Frankfurt school teacher. I taught here for 37 years and thoroughly enjoyed and was very proud to work in such an amazing school district. One of the reasons I loved teaching here was the respect and support I was given from our Board of Education and Administration. It's come to my attention that several important issues were discussed at length during the May Board of Education meeting, when I learned what policies and changes were proposed, I couldn't help but wonder if the Board of Ed members realized the negative effects of these proposals on the FTS teachers. First, there was a proposal to eliminate the policy that for many years had allowed out-of-district teachers to bring their children to our school. This motion was discussed as a way to save money for the school budget. It was proven that bringing students to school costs very little money, but enhances the lives of many. Even so, several members of the board remained constant with removing the policy and voted in this manner. Why end such a positive incentive that adds to the well-being of our staff and their families? Next, a motion was made to create a policy that disciplinary action would be taken if a teacher hung a flag that had not been pre-approved by the Board of Education. Just the idea of this is insulting and undermining of the higher education and professionalism of your staff. Again, it demonstrates a direct impact on teachers by treating them with disrespect. Finally, a lengthy discussion was held about the non-renewal of our curriculum coordinator position. This was presented with no consultation with the very staff that would be directly impacted by such a drastic change. A staff that has worked with a curriculum coordinator for decades. Your own Board of Education Code of Ethics states that Policymaking, planning, and appraisal would be confined to actions only after the board has consulted those who would be affected by them. It seems to me that this code was violated in all three of the actions I have discussed this evening. As a retiring educator, I'd like to point out that these changes, if they had been made, would have directly and negatively impacted the morale of the staff. The proposal of these changes alone shows disregard and disrespect for the teachers and paraprofessionals that care for and educate the children of this community. The morale of the staff must have surely taken a hit just by having these proposals made. Speaking from 37 years of proudly teaching at this school, positive morale is extremely important to the health of the staff and students, and this school has always maintained a positive morale. I'd like to end by saying that the considerations I have stated need to be made by our board members as they move forward in partnership with teachers in order to make Frankfurt School the best it can be. Working together with the staff to find new administrators would be an excellent first step to demonstrate the willingness to be unified. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Jessica Storch.
I'm going to pass.
Christine Maggio.
Hello, my name is Christina Maggio, and I've worked here for 6 years.
I'm sorry.
Hello, my name is Christina Maggio, and I've worked here for 6 years. I am in the transportation department, and I have, the last 3 years, been working as a custodian, part-time to get benefits. And that's why I'm speaking this evening, because since February, my life has been tumultuous at best. My job has been in limbo. I have been told that my benefits would be cut. I was told that I would be taken down to part-time. I was told that this was all because of budget cuts. And if you look at the bottom of the sheet, it says that a to and from transportation bid was sent out and was rejected because miraculously today I was asked if I would remain here and continue my work here with benefits as before. I said, well, I think that we discussed this in February. And I said, why are you year after year after year telling me that my benefits would be cut, that my hours would be cut? And I'm just so disappointed that my job is so devalued, and I feel so demoralized that I have been subjected to this harassment year after year. And I think that my transportation coordinator, Diane Bittinger, and my maintenance director, Brian Bessemer, would testify to my abilities here. And everybody that I've spoke to since 2 o'clock this afternoon had said, oh, thank God you're coming back. And I really want to thank Mr. Hesh, because if it wasn't for your interruption in the system, I may be leaving. And I really didn't want to do that. It was just, I couldn't exist working 3 hours a day with no benefits. I think that
Time.
And I really want to suggest that anybody who has any grievance.
Hey, no, let
I know, it's okay.
It's okay.
I really want to suggest that anyone who has any grievances or has any emotional situations like this, to bring it up and not let it fester, because since February, I've been very upset. So please don't be afraid to come up and talk about your issues.
Tony Fredo.
Yeah, I'm going to yield my time. You've been upset, and what I have to say is not going to be pleasant. I really want to start a riot. I'm going to yield my time to Matt, sir. Matt, unfortunately, I'm going to yield my time to you because I firmly believe that the employees, the teachers, and everybody else should have a say in what's going on. So, Matt, you're a new speaker. You say what you're going to say. You're an employee here. And keep going.
Good evening. Chris, would you start the clock at 2:45, please? Thank you, Tony. But since I have this opportunity, I just want to express sincere thanks to Braden and Amy. I apologize. I really didn't expect to speak tonight, so I'm really kind of shooting from the hip here. But when I say you two are truly the best there is, it's absolute. So I wish you both all the best, and just know you've made such an incredible difference here. All right? Thank you both.
Lori Ecker.
Thank you. I wanted to come here tonight and speak, not as a teacher, but as a former graduate of Frankfort Township Consolidated School, class of 1979. Also as a parent of 3 children who attended Frankfort and graduated. Also as a daughter whose mother was in the first graduating class in 1951. And finally, as a 6th generation Frankfort Township resident. I love Frankfort Township, and I love this school even more. Frankfort School has always had an excellent reputation with great students, supportive parents, dedicated educators, respected board members, and strong administrators. People have moved into Frankfort specifically for our school, and it also helps maintain our property values. I am really concerned about the forward direction of the current Board of Education and where we are headed. First, I'd like to thank all the board members who earnestly have our school and our students as their primary concern and focus for being a member of the Frankfort School Board of Education. I appreciate your service and dedication to our community. I have asked myself several times, what is the current motivation of a board member whose children do not attend Frankfort School? I totally understand and give the utmost respect for those of you like Mickey who continue to serve as a board member even though your children have graduated. This is the ultimate sacrifice and tells me that you love Frankfort School as much as I do. And we just want the best for our school. However, I believe there are 4 of you sitting here tonight as board members whose children either never attended Frankfort School or have chosen to take them out. For those 4 board members, I believe your children are either homeschooled or go to a religious school. It is quite scary to think about the forward direction of our school, where 4 of its board members do not have any stake in what is going on in the school. What is your motivation for being on the Frankfort Township Consolidated School Board if your own children do not even attend here? We have several town representatives here tonight, Tony being one of them, and I saw a few in the back. And I could imagine that they would not be very happy if they were told that people from other townships were going to serve on their boards and be able to make motions and decisions and don't even live in the township. Well, that's exactly how I feel when we are making decisions for our children. But your very own children do not even go to school here. Are you on the board to make it better and fix things so you'll bring your children back into the school system? I'm sorry, did I have time?
Yes.
Is there anybody? Thank you.
I'm not. You can have my phone.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you on the board to make it better or to fix the problems, and you're going to intend to bring your children back to Frankfort? And if so, what is it that you want to change or fix so you will bring your child back? Or is it that you're never going to bring your child back to the school, and you just are here to cut programs, cut teachers, cut costs so you have lower taxes? Or is it something else, possibly something vindictive in nature? Please tell me, what is your motivation for being on a school board when your own children don't even attend here? For some, I think this all started back with COVID and not wanting to wear masks. Then somehow it got out of control and everybody wanted to take back their school. But now 4 of you sitting here tonight do not even have children who attend Frankfort School. So what is your reason for being on the Frankfort School Board? What do you want to happen to the school, and where do you see us going forward? A responsible school board wants the absolute best for their students while being fiscally responsible. We are not in dire straits for money. We are not losing a great deal of state aid next year. We have a BA that balances the budget and works hard to keep things in good order. So why would a responsible school board even ever think of attending a shared superintendent with not just one other school, but with 2 other schools? As we enter a time of transition with our administration here at Frankfort, I would like for each and every one of you who serve on the Frankfort Township School Board of Education to ask yourself, why am I here? If your only motivation is secular or vindictive or cutting taxes, shame on you. If you truly want to make Frankfort the best it can be, then you need to act and vote as if your child was right here, because our children are here, and we want the absolute best for them. I love Frankfort School, and I will do everything possible as a township resident to continue the great tradition we have here. I will fight for the best achievable education we can offer our students, and I will not stand idly by while a small, certain group of individuals try to undermine and sabotage.
Okay, party can have mine.
I'm almost done. And sabotage our schools. We have an excellent school here, and I hope one day that my own grandchildren, and possibly even my great-grandchildren, will attend Frankfort School and have the same quality education that I had, my 3 siblings had, my mother had, and my 3 children were fortunate enough to have. In closing, I ask all of you to work together in the best interest of Frankfort Township Consolidated School and our students. Please put aside any individual agendas and do what is right for our children and our community. Thank you.
Erin Mills.
I'm gonna pass.
Laura Longberg.
also an educator in a local district. I would like to speak about the future of the administration here in Frankfurt. It is my understanding that several members of the board are quietly meeting with Board of Education members or administration from Sussex Wantage District regarding regionalization of administration, specifically the position of superintendent. The superintendent of Sussex Wantage already took over the town of Lafayette's school, and I would like to strongly advocate against sharing superintendent services with other local districts. Frankfurt's current climate, academic performance, and behavioral profile is significantly better than that of the Sussex Wantage School District. For example, Frankfurt has had 7 harassment, intimidation, and bullying incidents this year, last I checked. While the Sussex Middle School alone has had over 45 this year. That is not including the 2 elementary schools. The superintendent is in charge of the climate and atmosphere of the Sussex Wantage District, and that is not a reflection that I would like to see here at my school. In a recent article from April 19th on NewJersey.com, schools in New Jersey were ranked on how they did in a variety of areas compared to other schools. Frankfurt scored a 42.09 on a scale of 0 to 99, while the Wantage Elementary School scored a score of 21.14, almost half the score of Frankfurt. I do not feel that joining with a regional superintendent will help improve or even maintain our current levels of performance. We seem to be losing a lot of great staff following the recent resignations of both of our wonderful administrators. I hope that this Board of Education can see that this community behind me is starting to pay attention now that there are so many changes under the new Board of Education dynamic. I will continue to fight for the quality education for my children, as well as my friends and neighbors' children. The agenda of this new Board of Education does not align with my values and beliefs on what makes a quality education, and a community will be watching very closely each decision you make regarding our school administration selection. Thank you.
Charlene Molnar.
Hello, my name is Charlene Molnar, and I am here to speak about the numerous resignations on this month's board agenda. At the last meeting, the comment was made by a board member that we are running a business here. While I can appreciate that there is a budget which needs to be balanced, you are running a school here, not a corporation. The priority and decisions made by the board should be the education of all students above all else. Undermining recommendations made by the superintendent, ignoring requests and opinions from a stellar staff of teachers is not in the best interest of students, nor will it allow you to retain the exceptional teachers who have been here for decades. These experienced educators and administrators are experts. Their opinions and recommendations are valuable. As the board has continued to ignore their recommendations, assets to this school are resigning. Personal and political agendas have no place on a board, and I'm struggling to figure out what other agendas could possibly be playing out that would lead to consistently ignoring the recommendations of our esteemed and respected